Today we're going to make a little double leaf pendant. It looks like this. Here are the directions, and you can see how it's kind of three-dimensional inside there and three-dimensional inside here. So folding it properly is going to let it open up, and then it dangles down like this, so it kind of looks like a teardrop or something, but it's three-dimensional that way. Okay, so we're going to work on it real quick here. I'm going to actually use a green piece of paper for a little change. I'm going to turn it into a square, take the top piece, fold it down so that it lines up with the side edge here, and crease it. And use my book knife. Okay, flip it over, fold this bottom edge so that we can get rid of it. Okay, and use my book knife to slice this bottom edge off. I'm going to take it and fold it along the other diagonal here, just like it says to in the directions. Okay, and in the directions it also then says, number 2, to fold this corner into the center. So I'm going to do that on both sides. Now, tricky part right here, it says to do this in kind of like thirds. You take the corner and fold it over where this little dot is right there on the other crease. So what that means is you're going to kind of fold it open. You're going to take this corner and fold it over so it meets up with this crease here, and then fold this down. And what should happen is that you should have this previous crease line up with the middle too. So I'm going to unfold that. I'm going to fold this one over to meet up with this crease, and again my crease should line up with the middle right here. Okay, just like this. Now it says to take this point on the edge and fold it into the nearest crease, like this, on this edge, and on the other edge, like that. Okay, now it says, I'm going to follow the directions from 4 to 5 down here. Now it says to turn this corner back to the outer edge, like that, so you can see we get like a little triangle right there. And we're going to do it on this side too. Get a little triangle there. Okay, so you can see how that kind of looks. It almost looks like two little bird heads pointing the opposite direction. Okay, now it says refold it so you can't see that anymore, and then you're going to fold it back on itself. This is like a fan fold. And so now you're going to see that you've got like this zigzag pattern on this side. We're going to do the same thing here. Fold it back on itself. So we have that zigzag pattern. Okay. Then you just kind of do the same thing again. Fold it over and fold it back on itself. So you create yet another zigzag. I'm actually going to use my bone folder here and kind of crease these down to make them stay nicely. Fold it over and back on itself to make a zigzag. Now here we are at this final step here. Okay, we've just done this piece, and we're going to go down here to 10. This is what 10 looks like. Okay, now you're going to, it says flip it over, all the pleated folds over, so you have the back, and then you're going to flip those pleated folds over onto the back, so again you have that same zigzaggy pattern on both edges. So those two little bird heads from the very beginning are kind of pointing at each other, and so that we kind of have that same zigzaggy pattern, or this diamond pattern, repeating itself. Then you should have this, number 12, and it says to flip it over, so we have this plain back. Then we're going to take a piece of string, okay, and you can go get your, when you get to this stage, just simply get your piece of string. Here's my piece of string. I'm just going to use a simple white piece of string, and it does say to use some glue, and you're just going to take your glue and put a little dribble of glue right down here at the bottom, and then like right along, like kind of like an arrow, right along that bottom fold and right along the bottom corners. Don't glue the whole thing together, otherwise it won't open nicely later. Okay, you're going to take your string and just set it across the center, fold it, and then hold the fold down here so it has a little time to dry. And I'm actually going to kind of just scrunch it down here so it folds nicely. I'm going to just say, take something heavy, like let's say your glue bottle that you just got done using, and set it on top so it can kind of continue gluing while you tie your knot. So here's our knot. Just it's a normal square knot like you would tie a double knot with your shoes. The right hand over the left hand and underneath. Okay, so you have that kind of X shape. Then the left hand over the right hand and down through that hole. And then pull those two so that the knot is tied way up at the top. Okay, like that. Now if you want to, you can trim those little extra doodads off. Okay, and by then your bottom should be glued together. Okay, and this is kind of what it looks like from the side. Now this part is not in the directions, but what it says is pull up on these corners marked X, and there's a little X right here. It says pull up on them. What I find works best is use your index finger and your middle finger and just slide them right underneath these little pockets here. And then put your thumb right on the top of that crease and lift both sides up gently and kind of fold it over. And that's going to make this edge stand out. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold it over. And then you can just take these kind of pinch them together almost like to make a little mouth. Ooh, 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 like that. And then you've got your finished decoration. Okay? And so it's called the double leaf pendant. And that's what it should look like. You can see the three-dimensional piece in there. Okay, double leaf pendant.